All right, so let's talk about how we can generate a random number. Okay, this would be really, really useful in just about any type of program that you guys are doing. Specifically, let's say that we wanted to actually have a game where there's some type of chance involved. If you're looking at like RPG games or something like that, you may have dice that you're rolling, or if you're playing like Monopoly, you got some dice that you're rolling to determine where you're moving. Or maybe you have some type of certain percentage in your game for whether it's going to rain or not, and maybe that affects your gameplay. Random number generation is really, really useful. The first time that you guys are going to be using it is in your number guessing game. So let's kind of talk about it. Okay, now, first thing that we want to do is we need to look at one of the libraries that are available to us. Now, I mentioned about the math libraries that we have to pretty much all of you guys when we were talking about casting. Okay, math is a library that we have available. It is automatically on our computers when we download our SDK. Okay, now if I hit the period, I can see all the different options of different methods that are already available to me. Okay, so if I need to get the tangent of a number, or I need to get the cosine or the absolute value of a number, or in this case, the random, let's see what that means, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control and click to go ahead and actually open up this entire library, which what it is it's a huge program of a whole bunch of different values of things that I can use, and there's descriptions for everything, okay? All I got to do is just hold Control and click, okay? So this random right here, this is what is explaining about it. It says returns a double value with a positive sign greater than or equal to 0 and less than 1. So it's going to go from 0.0 to 0.99. Okay, return values are chosen pseudo-randomly with approximately uniform distribution from that range. When this method is first called, it creates a single new pseudo-random number generator exactly as if by the expression. Okay, so really what we're really looking at is what is a return, because now it's saying it's returning a double greater than or equal to 0.0 and less than 1. So let's go ahead and try to use that. So we want to print, so I'm going to go ahead and write that. Let's just put it in a print line so we can see. Math.random. Let's go ahead and print that. Okay, so 0.25. Let's go ahead and copy this a few times so we can see what it's doing. First thing that I would want to kind of make sure is that it's really staying within those bounds that it said. Okay, so we got something that's really close to 0, 0.4, 0.8. We got almost 0.9. I don't see anything that's 1.0. Okay, so what it said was that it would do a number from 0.0 to less than 1.0. So that would be 0.99. Repeating. Okay, so if we want to use this random number generation and I want it to actually give me maybe some values. So this is kind of similar to modulus, except we're not using modulus because it's already a decimal value. It's already going to be less than 1, because it's just parts. Now, we could try to get maybe a percentage. So if we multiply this by 10, So times 10. Let's go ahead and run that again, see what that will do. Okay, so 7.66, 9.79, 0.66, okay? So we can multiply by it to get values. Now this did not give me a full percentage because I really needed to multiply it by 100. Now if you guys want to know how to do the multi-line cursor select, you just hold Alt and then you drag down, and you can select everything for stuff that is repetitive. Okay, so let's go ahead and randomly generate. I should still have nothing that is less than 0, so it should all be positive, but nothing should be over 99. 99.999999, okay? And when I look, nothing is. Okay, how could I really use this? Well, we could do it in terms of percentages. Now, once we get a random number, though, depending on 99.6, okay, what we could do is that let's see if we can take that number, since we know that it's a double, let's see if we can take that number and if we can modify it so that it's only giving us maybe a specific value. So let's say that I only want to have I don't know, let's try to do like 2 options. Okay, we got 1.1, 1.9, 1.3, 0.8, 0.8, 1.9, 1.5, 0.4, 0.4. So we may not actually see anything, but if I ignore all the decimal values, what do I see that's reoccurring? 1s and 0s. Okay, so math.random is generating, since just generating that double, if I multiply it, it looks like maybe I might be able to generate a random number of only 2 options. So let's go ahead then, and I'm going to adjust. Let's go ahead and cast. Remember, if we want to cast, we say what we are going to cast to. I want it to be an int, and I'm going to contain all the stuff that I want it to be casted as an int. So I want math.random times 2, all to be done, and then I'm going to say that that's going to be an int. Let's go ahead and run that, see if we can just get 1s and 0s, because then that would let us know, oh, that's sweet. Okay, so we got 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. Let's see if we can get it to be different. Yes. So we have random number generation for just 2 numbers. So just like what we did with the modulus, where we were giving so many options, we need to multiply. Now let's go ahead and see if we could use modulus for it, because that's what we did before. Let's go ahead and run that and see if that really does anything. No, that does not give us any different options, okay? So looking at, because it started as a value that was less than 1, we can't not do modulus. We have to multiply. So we multiply. Now let's see if we can get, let's get a different value. So instead of 2 options, let's see if we can get 4 options, see what that looks like. Okay. All right, let's see if we have those. We got, this is option 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. I don't see any 4s. I'm going to go ahead and run this again. I don't see, I had 0, 1, 2, 3. 2s. Okay, so my options are 0, 1, 2, 3 for my 4 options. Let's go ahead and run, make sure we don't have any 4s. Still 0, 1, 2, 3. There's my 4 options. So if I'm going off of that premise, if I do 5 options, then it should be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are my 5 options. That means that it's giving me 5 options, but it's starting at 0. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't see any 5s. Let's go ahead and run it maybe a couple more times just to make sure. Yep, there are no 5s. Okay, so let's try then to mock a set of dice. Okay, if we can give it 5 options or 2 options, we could definitely give it 6 options. But dice do not start at 0, they start at 1. So we want to make all the values, so let's go ahead and run this. We want to make all the values increase whatever it was by 1. So if this was 2, we really wanted to say 3, 5 would be 6, 0 would be 1, 4 would be 5, 4 would be 5, 0 would be 1, 3 would be 4, 4 would be 5. Okay, so if that's the case, then if we're generating math.random times 6, whatever the answer is that's getting cast to an int, we need to then increase by 1. So let's go ahead. That's what we want to do. That makes sense. So let's go ahead and increase by 1 whatever the value is. And that should make it so that we're locked in at 6 options, starting at 1 and going to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have no more zeros. I didn't see a 6 yet. Let's go ahead and run again. Okay. I still see no zeros, but now I see my 6s. 1, 3, 6, 4, 5, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, remember, these are random numbers, so you're going to have to test this a lot. So if I want to randomly generate a number, I'm going to use my math.random, okay, which is going to generate a double. Then I can multiply it by how many options. I cast that whole thing as an int, okay, and then I'm going to add where I want it to start at. So if I want it to start at 10, so let's go ahead and make it just double check that we're thinking this through, right? If I add 10 to it, that means that it's going to start at 10 and it's going to give me 6 options. So let's go ahead and actually, yeah, let's go ahead and run it. So 12, 13, 14, 15. Again, it's still random, so I'm going to have to run this again. I got 10. I've already seen 12, 13. There's 15. There's 11. And I should be getting, well, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's 6 options. Okay, so there we have seen that we can do this. Let's say that I have a 20-sided die. Okay, well then I could change this to 20. Okay, let's go ahead and rerun that. Now, I'm printing this out multiple times, but that does not mean that I have to do that. Okay, so that's my 20-sided die. I don't really need to have it like this. Let's say that I actually just wanted to public static void and random number. Maybe I actually want to give the highest number and the lowest number. So actually, I'm not going to explain that to you guys yet. That will be in the next video. So I want to generate a random number. All I would have to do is just call this. So I don't have to retype it. But if I want to be able to modify this, and this is what you guys should be thinking about, if I want to modify this, then I'm going to have to be able to change these numbers, okay, on the fly. So instead of here, I could just say random number, and I can call it by calling the method. but we are starting to get to the point where we need to learn how to customize our methods a little bit. There we go. 3 rolls for a 20-sided die. Pretty cool. All right, so that's how we randomly generate numbers. This first number is the options. The second number is where we start at. All right, good luck. Have fun.